So at 1:15, I, I I called after I looked on the internet for the T-Mobile internet thing. That's prepay. It's like 50 a month for unlimited and all that stuff. You can't move it around. You have to change the address if you want to move it. I was hoping it was mobile, but it's not. And so I was going to get it for my office. And so I looked on the internet and read their stuff on the internet. And then said no contract, no deposit, all that stuff. And it's prepay. But if you'd pay with a card, then they would give you a discount of $5 or $10 a month. But I don't like to do any registered card stuff. It's really bad. So anyway, I called over to the store. It was like over at Santa Rosa Mall by Starbucks, and asked the girl a bunch of questions, and she was real nice. And I said, okay. I said, I don't have to do a credit check or any of that kind of stuff or pay a deposit. No. And so I said, well, okay, how long will it take? Oh, just like 5 minutes. So I jump in the car, run over there, and I have been there. It is now like 4:30. I have been there like all this time except for about 7 minutes ago because I had to drive to the other T-Mobile store because they said they had the unit there, and she said I could just go in there and pick it up. And there's like 17 people in this store. And it's like, what the hell? I was so pissed because I had told her I don't have to wait or anything. Nope. She was texting back and forth with some girl manager over there, and that when I went in and she was waiting on a customer, and I'd asked her, did the girl from the other store send you a message on it? She's like, no, and I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, oh, here we go. So anyway, there was a guy there that it was before me. They had come to that store over there. They're closing that store by Starbucks, and in 2 days, and they don't even have phones there. Everything's been shipped out. In fact, while I was there, they were shipping like 8 boxes out of phones. So anyway, I have spent all this time in that store, almost 4 hours in that store. You have to go on an iPad and you have to fill out this info, and it doesn't work, and I had to redo it like 12 times because it wouldn't accept. And then next thing you know, they ask you another thing for credit app. I said, I thought there was no credit app. This is prepay. Oh, well, you still have to fill this out. So I did that too. And I said, man, I don't want any credit stuff. I pay my bills. I'm not switching my phone service, any of that. Told you all that before. So they're like, oh, no problem. You just have to fill this out. Now here, this is a store manager. And when I walked in, she told everybody I don't do, new service at all. So one of you guys do it. So she gave it to this one guy that was real nice. And she said the reason being that he gets commission off of the sale or whatever. So that's why, she had to give it to him because she doesn't get commission on the sale. So, anyway, that's just insane. That's way too many hours to jerk around just to get prepay internet, and way too much stuff to do. And then they have to call. At first they told me it was the IRS. I said, for what? And then when I got on the phone with them, I said, well, who is this? Who am I talking to? Because they started asking me all my personal information all over again. My full social security number, my driver's license number, all this stuff all over again that I had entered on the iPad thing they gave me like 12 or 14 times. And I said, why are we doing this all over again? And I don't like saying all my personal information with people in this store, And they're like, well, you could just whisper it. I'm like, no. I said, there's a lady here right next to me that walked in after me, and they're waiting on her. And I just can't, pick her up and throw her out the store, and she's got an important problem. Her phone is not working, and I don't have T-Mobile service. So I used to a long time ago. I really loved it. It's super clear. It just only works on the main highways. It just doesn't work anywhere else. And so that's why I had switched. It was horrible. And but anyway, so that they had to call them back because the rep wouldn't wait on the phone for them to finish with this lady. And then we had to wait to get the rep back on the phone. They enter all these codes on the phone. And then I have to do all this caca all over again. And they asked me like 10 addresses that weren't mine. They asked me about the car I bought a year ago on credit. And I said, no. I pay cash for all my cars. I haven't bought cars on credit in a million years. And that was way back at Cadillac in Memphis, years ago. They used to give me a car free, no down payment, no payment for 3 months, okay? And I belonged to the Cadillac Club back then. Literally, they have a Cadillac in Memphis Club. But anyway, so then they asked me all my pertinent information all over again. And then she asked me, okay, and what is your zodiac sign? I said, is this real? I said, what is all this? And like, they're just trying to verify who you are. I said, well, somebody's using my info or something because, they gave me all these addresses that are not mine. And all kinds of stuff. I'm just done. I'm just ready to walk out. And so they said, well, it's just to do the shipping on it or something. So then we had to get back off the phone. That was finished. We passed the credit check and everything. And then had to fill out some other junk on their iPad again that didn't want to work. And did that like 4 times till it accepted. And then it didn't want to accept. It said that some other thing that they need to call back again to verify that. And that was for the shipping. And then they turned around and said they needed a card. I said, well, you told me before you didn't need a card. Because I told you I was paying cash. And I said, I do not want any billing to my card. I don't want any of that. And so then, well, we just have to have it for the shipping. So, well, I like it. And I gave them the card. But it's a prepaid card, so I gave them that. And then they were having problems with that. They called back again, and then they had no account number and no something or other. So, and the girl says, well, she was texting back and forth on her phone. She says, they've got the unit where you don't even have to bother about the shipping stuff. They've got the unit at the other store. All you gotta do is go pick it up. And I said, that's all I gotta do. Yeah. And she's like, you might have to fill out a little something, but all you gotta do is pick it up. And I said, well, why don't you call them over there and give them all this info? Or can they access it? Because you already did all that and you were already approved. And I said, well, to make sure they have it all before I go over there. So I drive over here to the T-Mobile over here, walk in the door, and there's like 17 people. I'm standing there waiting. There's another guy there that was at that other store where I was at who needed a phone, and they'd already shipped all the phones out, and that was hours ago. And he was sitting up there waiting for hours at that store that I just walked into, and he was finished. They left him alone, and he's like, I'm done. He walked out the door. There's all these people standing around waiting. They've got like 3 reps, and they're all busy. And so one guy came up to me, he was real nice, and he had just walked in the building or something. And I said, look, I was supposed to pick up from some girl my internet unit for the prepaid internet. And he's like, well, we don't have prepaid on the internet that it says you do. And I just spent hours at your other store doing all my applications and my credit run. That was a whole nother separate thing and all that. And see, I don't like giving out my information because every time they run your credit, it makes your credit run lower. So I don't do credit for nothing. I do not. Because I pay my bills. I don't do any of that. But anyway, so I was pretty fried. So anyway, he says, well, okay, so we need your driver's license. I said, why? I said, just did all that other stuff over there. And he turns around the iPad and starts getting ready to type. And I'm like, what is that for? I said, don't tell me how to do all that stuff again because I've just spent hours a day at the store. And, you know, I'm supposed to be at work. I left work to come do all that stuff hours ago. And so he's like, well, yeah, we have to do it. You know, I'm like, no, absolutely not. I'm done. I'm through. I've had enough. And so I walked out. So beware if you're trying to do their new 5G unlimited internet and all that. It's the home internet and all that, because it's like hell to try to get it. I mean, it's the biggest load of crap I've ever heard or been through, and that's my review. So, um, it's just too many hours of my time to waste when they told me it'd only be 5-10 minutes before I even went down there. And that's not at all what it was, because it's, you know, like 4:30 now, and I'm through. I'm absolutely through. So, talk to you guys later. I hope you have a great one. Love ya.